Okay. We're live, people. We're live. We are live. And the cuties are in the building. All right. Let's see. I'm going to turn my camera on. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Are our resident cuties ready? All right.
Ready. Admit them. Ready.
Happy Sunday, everyone. Hello. Okay. Trying to control the boards. I'm trying to be every woman. Trying not to overheat. Looking at all my friends and waving. Hi, girls. You look so cute. I'm live. We're live. Let me stop sharing my screen. Okay. So forgive me, everyone, if I am a little excited and amateurish right now. I am so psyched. This is my first live and I'm psyched. This is very cool that you would take your Sunday afternoon to join us, to join me. I'm going to start in just a couple of seconds. Give me a second. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. Do you have your drinks? Do you have your tea, your cocktail? This is meant to be fun and just chill for the afternoon. I have tea, cocktail, water. I'm trying to be fully hydrated, y'all. All right. Let me see what's going on here. Paging Dr. Jones, paging CEO Nicole. Lex, can I see you? Can I see your faces? There they are. There are cuties.
Hi. Hello.
Okay, let's take our screens down now. Let's get into this. Oh, Kashid is coming on. All right. Who's shopping? Oh, I hear. Thank you, Kay. I know it's Sunday afternoon. We still have stuff to do. So I truly appreciate everybody being on. Right, hold on one quick second. I'm just having a little tiny sitch here. Let me double check. Oh, there goes Dr. Jones. Hey, Dr. Jones. We are ready. I think I need a fan. You know, I'm a woman of a certain age.
Have one of yours snap fans next to you.
Ready. Okay, I still see the flyer up. I think that's my fault.
Sharing your screen.
Yes.
At the top,
Give me one quick second, folks. I apologize. We
hide
live.
everyone on YouTube.
This is live, so you know you're gonna get all of the.
But hide everyone on YouTube as well. We are multitasking. I see Cutie Karen said she's shopping.
Yes, hello on YouTube. Hello out there in TV land. As they say.
There we go.
That's it? Okay.
Well, wait, I think we're still
I
sharing your
think.
screen.
Hi, Yvette Mac.
Oh, hello. Hello. I have my caftan on.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm getting too much page. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry.
No problem. Go to the top.
I need tech support next time. I need my baby to come help me because Oh, that's why. Stop sharing. Okay.
Yay, there you go. Yay!
Happy Sunday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Dr. Karen Abigail, Karen Williams, Special K from back in the day, whatever you want to call me, I'm here. We are live on a Sunday afternoon to just indulge a little bit about ourselves and each other. This project came together because I just happened to notice how good I feel being part of Nicole Enzaba and her Caftan Cutie community. Is there reverberations? Okay, hold on. I'm getting feedback. Thank you. My cuties are talking to me. Hold on. Let's see. I can't be loud and have the volume on high. That don't work. Is that better, family? Okay, so I just wanted to have a conversation because I have really cool and interesting Facebook friends, real life friends who are doing amazing things. I just noticed how I felt when I put the caftan on and decided to participate in Nicole's project. And I called Dr. Jones, who's an MD, and I said, there's got to be something from a mental health perspective about these caftans. And so I wanted to take some time and have a conversation with two people who can kind of really advise us about that. So I'm gonna just get right into it. I wanna introduce you first to CEO of the Caftan Cutie movement, Nicole Enzaba. I'm going to ask her to take a few minutes to introduce herself. And I think we all know her, but let her give you some insight about what she's doing. And then we'll follow it up with an introduction to Dr. Amina Jones, who is the CEO of Be Well lifestyle medical firm. So ladies, please jump right in here.
Hey, cuties, and hello, friends of cuties. I'm so excited seeing all of these familiar faces and names. I'm really, really excited. I thank you all for joining us on the Sunday afternoon. And I, especially want to thank Dr. K. Karen, my sorority sister and friend, for even thinking of this because, Dr. Amina and I have been doing our own things separately. And, full disclosure, Amina is Karen's sister. So she's a great resource for her. And she's, been able to kind of bounce off, like she said, the way that she feels and engaging with the Caftan Cutie movement. And she just saw that there was some synergy between what Amina is doing, which she will talk about, and what we've created as a community. And she's the one who came to us and was like, you guys need to talk about this. You guys need to, there is definitely a connection between what we're doing to make ourselves feel good on the inside and, you know, how we look on the outside and how it makes us feel. So I'm so happy to be here and talk to you all. So many familiar faces. Hey to the people Zooming with us. The Kaftan cuties are with us, engaging live on Zoom. Okay, so they get the honor and privilege, since they've been here since day one, to actually be on Zoom with us. But I also welcome those who are watching this stream on YouTube. So glad that you could join us on YouTube as well. I'm very excited about this. So I am Nicole Nziba, aka the Kaftan Cutie. I am a Brooklyn-born girl of Trini parents and a Haitian stepfather. I am married. I've been married for 21 years, and I have 2 children. High school sophomore, my son, the baby, and my big girl is a college freshman. So like so many of you who are on this chat right now, whether you're on Zoom or on YouTube, I'm busy. I have a lot going on. And like you know, world kind of came to somewhat of a grinding halt in March with this pandemic and having to kind of figure out, you know, what does this mean to our lives? So just a little bit about me. I have a fashion background. I've born and bred in New York and went to high school of fashion industries, and have pretty much for my entire career been in the fashion and retail industry in one way, shape, or form, but mainly on the business side of fashion. But I consider myself to be a frustrated creative because I was one of those people who would have loved to have gone the creative route, doubted myself at a young age, went the business side. And, you know, I had great opportunities that have led me to being a business trainer with my corporate job within the retail industry, as well as an adjunct professor teaching, you know, what we hope to be the future leaders to revolutionize this fashion and retail industry, because this pandemic is not helping my industry, and we definitely need some new, you know, thought leaders there. So glad to have the opportunity to teach as well. I was working from home when, before everything really came to a halt, my company was very proactive in telling us, don't come into the city unless you really have to. And then it became, no one can come into the city. There's no reason why you have to. And then I was furloughed. But before I was on furlough, I was, you know, trying to figure out different ways to kind of fill the time because we were home, and I was attending a lot of different virtual events. And on a virtual tea that I attended, we had a conversation where my older sister mentioned that for her work from home, where she was going to start wearing kaftans. And I thought it was really cute, and actually had been gifted a kaftan from one of my closest friends many, many years ago. When we joked about when do we get to be kaftan ladies who float around the house like our mothers. And she gifted me the kaftan, and it sat in my closet for over a decade. And then my sister sent me pictures next week of, yeah, I just bought some more kaftans. And me being the social person I am, thought, wow, this is really cute and fun. We should have like a day where everybody wears kaftans. And the first Saturday in April, I hosted what was the first kaftan Saturday. I wore the kaftan I had in my closet because I didn't have like a full of kaftans, but I had been gifted years ago. And it was a lot of fun. And I wasn't thinking anywhere beyond that weekend, but a lot of people joined the group and were brought in by other people in the group on Facebook and said, I don't have a kaftan, but I'm ordering some so I could join in the next one. And I was like, oh, okay, so I guess I have to have a next one. And it just kind of took off from there. We started inviting people. We started, you know, friends of friends started inviting people, family started inviting people. And it grew from the 50 initial cuties that first weekend with 20 cuties probably posting pictures to about 1,300 cuties on the Facebook page now. So growth that I would not have imagined. It's been a lot of fun. And the thing that, you know, I love that we definitely will get into as we talk is the way that people say that they feel just by being part of this. It's been described as a movement. It's been described as a community, as a collective. And never in my wildest dreams would I even imagine that I would have created something in the middle of a pandemic that fed myself as much as it feeds other people. So I'm looking forward to this conversation so we can make that connection between why we feel so good when we slip on our kaftans and how we could feel good from the inside out too. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Amina Jones, the Wellness Doc.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Dr. Karen, for having this. And thank you, all you cuties, for allowing me to be a cutie for the first time. It's my first caftan. Pulled it into my closet for some time, though, to make its debut today. so,
It's nice to see you out of the white coat, Dr. Jones.
well, I've been in scrubs and jogging pants too, working from home. Telemedicine rocks. I love it. So, yeah, so a little bit about myself. I'm a Bronx girl, right? So I'm a little Bronx girl with Trini parents who just had a dream to be a medical physician. That's where it all started. I'm first and foremost, before I talk about my career, I am a wife of 16 years, and I also have a 6-year-old son. And I was a first grade teacher last year when this pandemic started. And I am so thankful that I'm not a second grade teacher this year. So thank God for virtual school because it started. So I went to Xavier, that's a HBCU in New Orleans. And I started my career there and went on to get my medical degree and master's degree at George Washington University. And so basically, I just say that what happened was talking more about where I'm going now. I was working in medicine like many doctors, like many nurses and other health professionals, nurse practitioners, PAs, and you just find yourself grinding every day. You're working hard. And sometimes you feel like the harder you work, the worse the outcome. And it just became unsatisfying at some point. And I had to take another look at, is this what I really want to do? Am I happy here? Should I have made a turn somewhere? What's happening? And I needed to go back to when work was really happy and satisfying for me. And so it just reminded me that it was the times that it's most rewarding is when I connect on a different level with my patients. So I am a primary care doctor. I'm a family medicine doctor, but I'm trained in women's health. And I did a lot of OB in the beginning of my career because I love women's health. And I worked in various communities. Right now, I'm back in community medicine. So a lot of what you're hearing, a lot of people who are suffering from COVID and things like that, that's where I'm working. So the burnout happened and it was real. And I was like, so let's get back to when medicine was fun. And it was when I connected, I got to know who they were. I got to know what responsibilities they had. They were more than what was presented to me in the chart. They were more than the numbers that I'm treating. And so I decided that when when it was fun was when I realized that I had a chance to get to know them and they understood what they had. They had whatever disease process, this is what it means. I took the time to teach them. We talked through what the treatment plan was. We worked on it together and we came up with a plan together. And so it was because of that, it made me do some research into what kind of medicine is that? And that is more lifestyle medicine. So I am now veering into wellness coaching. And so that's why I call myself the wellness doctor. So I'm still doing primary care, still doing women's health, but I definitely like the more satisfying visits where I get to connect with my patients on a different level. And so that's how Be Well came about.
Well, you know what? You said a lot. You both said a lot. And so, first of all, I thought that lifestyle medicine was something you made up. So I started telling people, like, oh, my sister made up this whole thing called lifestyle medicine, which, of course, you quickly corrected me, like, knock it off. It's a thing, right? But I think what you're getting at is exactly the issue that people feel and have been feeling for a long time. Like, you just see what's on the paper and you're just telling us, you're just being very transactional and prescriptive in how you treat us, as opposed to viewing us as people with conditions and ailments and diseases, not just looking at me as the disease on the paper. So we will get to that in relation to wellness in particular, because so many of us experience tremendous loss during this time. And whether it was financial, loved ones, whatever, there was extraordinary loss. Yet this little flicker in the darkness over something as basic as a caftan just came through, and it spoke to people, and it swept really the country. I've seen now article after article after article about these caftans, and let me just shout out my new caftan that my husband got me. From Asa Caftans.
Yes. One of my
And
favorites.
with my Fulani earrings and my bracelets from 17 Demigod. She's on Instagram. She's dope. But I say all that to say that I had a couple of pieces because I felt like I was the Bronx Mrs. Roper. But this is a thing. Like they, Nicole, you are a professor of fashion. You study it. You see it every day. And based on the conditions that we just talked about, how do we end up in these caftans? Like, how did we get here? Because I didn't read all them articles, unless you were being quoted.
So the crazy thing is that, again, when we started this, no one was thinking about this becoming anybody's, clothing. Even when I started it, I just went through my Facebook list and just randomly started clicking off whatever names rose to the top, which was pretty much the names that Zuckerberg told me I engage with the most on Facebook. I didn't think about, because I see Felicia's little name up there. Does Felicia like caftans? Is Mary E going to wear a caftan? I just knew that the name popped up, and I'm trying to start this group, so let me click on names. So, usually when you start something, you target people who you figure have an affinity for something. And I figured the one thing we have in common is we're home and we're all looking for these virtual things to engage with, and either people are going to jump in or not. And I had some people who, as much as there were people saying, wow, that was great, especially after the first week when I made actually, like a video collage with music of all the people who participated that first week, because I was so excited. And people were jumping in saying, I'm going to order caftans, but, it's the pandemic, it's going to take 2 weeks, so I'll do the next one. There were still people who were like, you mean a muumuu? You want me to wear a house coat? You want, They had different ideas of what it meant. And I was like, no, that's not what I quite mean, but, we'll just keep this going. I was wearing hoodies and leggings and hoodies and sweatpants. That had become my wardrobe.
Not quite clean ones either, girl. Let's talk.
Well, no, I felt accomplished because I would wake up every day on a schedule, take my shower, and put on some clean
stuff. Okay. Well, that was just me. Mine might have been from the floor.
But that was my type A trying to take control of what I was doing. So I was like,
got you.
I'm going to get up, I'm going to take a shower, and put on a clean hoodie, clean leggings. And my job hadn't yet had us on camera yet. So, I wasn't necessarily putting a big effort into it. But that Saturday was the first week in like a few weeks that I'd gotten up. I fluffed out the afro, I put on some lipstick. The sun had broken out. So my daughter took pictures of me, my son took pictures of me in my backyard. And it was so much fun. And then, I think within a few weeks, the first inkling we got that, we weren't the only ones at home wearing caftans was one of the cuties hit me up because Kelly Ripa had mentioned, because they were at home, that she's, doing her intro with Ryan. And, they, at the beginning of all these talk shows, they do this playful banter. And she mentioned that on that day, she was wearing a caftan. And she was talking about an article that she had read.
And I'm going to credit you with the idea.
Oh, it was absolutely my idea. She picked up on it. She felt the vibe. And she talked about an article that she had read that was talking about, this emergence of caftan. And the article was actually a little bit old. It wasn't even caftans in the pandemic. And it talked about us feeling like peacocks, which was something that I had begun adopting because of this caftan. The caftan that's behind me is the one that kind of launched my affinity to peacocks, because it was the one I wore on the second caftan Saturday. Also,
now, which was the one with the charcuterie tray? Because I was all about that. I do love my charcuterie.
And I was getting to that. So the way that I realized that it was also becoming a community was that people weren't just coming on when I was having events and posting their pictures, which is absolutely amazing. And then they were posting it to their own timeline saying, I'm a cutie in a caftan today. And it was also amazing. But then cuties started coming to me saying, there was one cutie, my cutie Tamika, who said, I feel we need a cocktail.
Yes.
And I said, okay. I said, you should craft like a signature cocktail. And I don't drink alcohol. So I said, if you could also craft a mocktail, that would be great. And then she put it on this beautiful, printed on this beautiful paper, but, on this poster for us to post within the group. And we had signature cocktails. And then before the next one, I think I randomly sent you a tray. Instagram had an advertisement for some really cute cutting board tray with drawers and bowls. And I sent it to Dr. Karen because I said, this reminded me of you because I know you are a fan of charcuterie. And
listen, and shout out to my sister Ingrid Bentel's on the line because she loves her charcuterie and champagne tray as well.
There you go. And Dr. Karen said, well, charcuterie and caftans go hand in hand. And
yes,
I
Lord.
said, well, how about you curate a menu with suggestions for how the cuties can put together their own charcuterie tray? And then we had another themed weekend where we did our cute caftans and charcuterie. So people posted pictures of them in their caftans with their trays, with their meat and their cheese and their fruit.
It was so glamorous though, Nick. It was so like it lifted your spirit.
Wonderful. People said that's when people started telling me things like, I've been looking forward to this. Or my caftans just came. So I'm ready for that. You gave me a reason to put on lipstick today.
And someone said that. And shout out to Heather Ross. She was saying the same thing. Yeah.
Yep. And I see Nicole Chappelle's name pop up. Nicole said, and I'll never forget this, after her first one, she said, you gave us something we didn't even know we needed. And I mean, like I said, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because I was like, I didn't know what I was doing when I was doing it, but to find the energy that people wanted to pour into it. We've had a movie night, and I will tell you that was an idea of another cutie. A cutie came to me and said, can we do a movie night where we watch something like Mahogany or Dreamgirls or something where the women are wearing like fabulous outfits? So I found none of those were available for us to stream, but we watched, a Caribbean movie that was, steeped in Indian culture where there was also beautiful pageantry, because the whole thing was to bring us together as a community. So, since then I've been sent so many different articles from other, authors, bloggers. NPR just did a story on the house dress as becoming the uniform.
Girl, bye. You can't call it no house dress now. NPR. Come on, knock it off, y'all.
This is not a house dress.
This is not a house dress.
But what I realized for me personally, and I would think what other people realized when they put it on, was that, I thought my sweats were comfortable. I thought my leggings and my hoodie was comfortable, but
not around the stomach, Nick. I'm gonna say, look, somewhere around March. That waistband.
After I was like, this is actually so much lighter than what I've been wearing. And I realized this, going to the mind-body connection, that I didn't just feel physically lighter because I wasn't putting on heavy knits. I felt like mentally lighter. I felt like it changed my entire mood.
Yes.
Because I was looking forward to the community and everyone was participating. But like when I slipped it on, I was like, this actually feels better. It feels so much lighter. I feel so free in it. Bra, no bra.
no, that's a whole nother line. The bras. Because seriously, no.
You just feel
that's a whole nother discussion, because I definitely am going back to the undershirts or some version of a supported something. Sports, whatever. But I want to bring a medical perspective into this, because to your point, Dr. CEO Nick, people have said things like, I feel beautiful, I feel fancy, relaxed. And the word that struck me most was unpacked. And so, Dr. Jones, what have you been seeing in patients during this pandemic that this fashion trend somehow seem to sort of address? That I know what I felt, I know what I heard other people say, but what did you see, Dr. Jones, in your practice? Or what do you think is being addressed with this?
Right. So when you say feel relaxed and unpacked, there's a certain level of what it brings to mind for me.
And I'm packed tight. You've met me before.
Is a level of anxiety sometimes, or a level of stress, if you don't even want to call it anxiety. So yes, I use a lot of labels. For those who are offended, please don't be. I diagnose patients, so I'm going to use some labels. You could take it loosely if you like, please. But yes, when you don't feel relaxed and unpacked, there's a level of anxiousness, stress that's going on there. And what we were talking about not too long ago was the feeling of, since this whole pandemic started, our lives has changed dramatically, right? So we have, some of us have had adult children in college who are now
Women,
home, or some
so
of us
much.
have our families that's around us and with us all the time. Um,
All
the time,
the time.
right?
Yes,
Or we have you know, we don't have family, and
that's
our
true.
family may be far away and we're the
Right.
only ones in our home, you
You're
know,
feeling
so
isolated, right?
you feel isolated. And
Yeah.
so one of the things that this movement that I like, one of the names I like to call it, Caftan Cuties, among other different groups that have been formed during this time, is that you find a group of people that you have some common ground with, which is what I tell my patients to do when they have things like anxiety, depression, or both of them, is to basically find someone, a group, something, some common interest that you share with someone else. And so Caftan Cuties may have started out as helping you, Nick, but it also helped other women and individuals who were looking for that connection for various reasons, the ones that I listed earlier. And so you have to, you know, when you have this feeling of unrest, sometimes it could be just you, and the expectations that you have on your own. Sometimes if or you just don't have the motivation to move, and it
Right.
doesn't have to be full-fledged depression, but it could just feel like I'm down today. I'm thinking about some things that I don't normally think about when I'm moving, when I am getting on the train or getting in traffic early in the morning and I'm working all day. And then I come home, I get to be tired, fall asleep, and do this again the next day. So these kind of things you don't get to focus on. You didn't focus on as much before the pandemic. And now with the pandemic, you have less time, you have more time, you are home, you are thinking about things. And then sometimes, you know, with things like depression and anxiety, sometimes the things aren't real. And I'm not saying that you're crazy, but I'm
But it
just
feels real.
saying that it feels real. And if
Right.
it feels real to you, it is real. Now let me just preface this and say that I am a medical physician. I do diagnose and treat men and women with depression, anxiety, and other forms of mental illness. I do diagnose and treat. So I do feel very comfortable talking about this topic. But everything that I talk about, I am not your medical provider. So please seek
Oh
medical.
yeah, don't be trying to sue my sister. I'm just saying, like we doing advice here now. This is
Listen,
supposed to be
okay,
champagne
let me
and
just tell you.
water, and this is not your medical situation.
Okay,
And
listen.
wine. Thank you,
Right.
Felicia Thomas. That's right. Please don't sue
So,
me.
right. So we all have, we all have our different stressors and our different ways of dealing with it. But when we have distractors, we don't have to deal with it. So now that we have to deal with it, how do we deal with it in a positive way? So one of the things that I like to tell people is sometimes you got to get ahead of the problem so that you can prepare for it before it comes. And what does that mean? That means,
Okay, wait. All right. Say
right.
that. Talk about that a little bit more. Get
Okay.
ahead of what? What are we getting ahead of? Because I'm overwhelmed. The children are here. I got to be a teacher. I got to beat people. I got to cook. I got to talk to people. Like it's too much. And then
Right.
if you don't have anybody at home, the feeling of isolation can be overwhelming. So how do I get ahead of it
Right. So you
while
got
I'm
to be
feeling fancy?
you got to be a special kind of organized. And the reason why I call it special kind of organized is because if you're home by yourself, you got to plan your day. Even if it means, okay, at 8 o'clock, I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna make a nice healthy breakfast, I'm gonna go for a run, a walk, lift weights, something. And during the active time of pandemic, it was, you could get in your car and drive around maybe, but you got to plan, even if it means going into another room. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to go into the living room and I may catch a good Netflix movie. And this was during, you know, during the time when we weren't actively working. Now you still have to plan for that. Now your kids are in school, so you have to they have to have a schedule. You have to have a schedule, but you have to do that beforehand, because when you wake up in the day and little Johnny doesn't have anything to do but ask you questions all day, and you have to get work done and you have to zoom in and different things have to happen, they don't have a schedule. So everybody in the house needs a schedule. And when you do this schedule, it should be realistic, right? So if you're anything like me, you're going to schedule at least 15 things a day. And
Oh, of course, yeah.
right. And when you don't get those 15 things done, then you're mad, you're stressed.
No. But when you're guilty, and let me pause you for a second, Doc, because it's planning a schedule. It's not being overly, like don't go crazy with the schedule. But I'm gonna just tell you who's on the line. Really busy, accomplished women who will get the 15 things done, and they're gonna feel like trash at the end. Right. So I need you to go step by step. You said wake up and move, or wake up and get dressed, or something like that.
Wake up and
put your caftan on.
Right. Wake up and put your caftan on. And even when we were
talking, so funky though, like. Okay. Okay.
You got to make a little bargain with yourself, right? Because I remember hearing when we were talking, you said that you do a deal with yourself. You say, yes, in order for me to put my caftan on, what did you say you had to do?
I have to work out first and take a shower before I put my caftan on.
Exactly. So sometimes you gotta do a trade-off. Okay, I have to work out.
It'll be 3:00, cuties. Like, I'm not even gonna front.
Listen, accomplishment is accomplishment. You have to celebrate the small victories. Because when you are putting yourself down like that, we do a good job at putting ourselves down. So the small victories, you should celebrate that. And so now you have, so when you could schedule 15 things, but you have to put yourself as one of those 15 things.
Oh, well, now you
don't feel that you are tired and exhausted and overworked, even if you are first. So for me, in order for me to function and feel like I'm able to deal with the world, I have to get my 30 minutes to an hour in the morning of prayer. Like, that has to happen. I got to get my prayer, my Bible, and I have to get that in order to stabilize and get myself going. Because I deal in an atmosphere where I'm taking on other people's problems and trying to solve their problems. So if many women here, or many individuals that are tuning in, you may have that type of job where you have a team that you're leading, or you have a company that you're running, or whatever the case is, you have a level of responsibility. You already have a lot of things to do. So if you start off just giving yourself some time, that's okay. You can do it in between the day, at the end, but definitely make sure you have time for yourself. So you be organized, get your family or your children organized, and that way you can stay ahead of the game, and make sure when you organize, you are realistic with your time.
Yeah, you know what? Yes, all of those things are important. I agree with that. You not only need time for yourself, and you need to put yourself on the list, and what I'm hearing you say, to that extent, you've, like, for example, you've chosen prayer, right? Which probably more of us, some sort of prayer meditation we should choose, because I have seen the emails that I do. Per my last email, maybe prayer would help with that. So you're right.
Probably.
But I also think, there's something to what you said, Dr. Jones, as far as getting properly attired. And I want to bring Nick back into the discussion, because there's that old saying, clothes make the man, right? And so there is definitely a connection to feeling good and fancy and even relaxed during your work week with a caftan. Like, maybe we should be working in the caftans. What's your take? What do you say about the wellness fashion link?
The thing is that the U.S., the world, this has been a worldwide thing, but the U.S. In particular, we like to be world leaders in things. And one thing that we were world leaders in a few years back, that's not necessarily a good thing, is this move towards athleisure. And for those who, you've seen the word, but you don't know what it means, it's basically this trend, it's become a fashion trend of wearing workout looking clothes when you're not really going to work out. So it's the whole
I
idea
couldn't get
of
involved in
I
that.
wear my hoodies all the time. I wear my sweatpants. I wear my leggings. I wear my Lululemon. Half the people who shop at Lululemon aren't buying Lululemon so that they could go to like do hatha yoga. They're spending it because it's a status type thing, and they're wearing it to go meet their girls to brunch. They're not necessarily wearing it to work out. So
And let me just cut you off, Nicole, for just a quick second. I want to make it clear, I have no judgment about that. But I think because all three of us come from Caribbean households, and specifically Trinidad, that granny and auntie and whoever was into that structured fabric, because for me, this chick right here, elastic waistbands, they're not my friend, not my real friend.
In a pandemic, they're not our friend, because then we don't know if our waists are naturally expanding, because the clothes expand with it. But that's the same with a caftan.
Right. I'm just saying.
But we may not judge it. And I, honestly, I fought against it because I worked in situations where I had to dress a certain way. But even the company I worked for went from a business to business casual. And now I work for a really famous American designer who's built, their company on denim and polos and t-shirts. And so even when I started working there, I was like, I'm not gonna wear jeans every day. And then it was, I'm gonna wear jeans every day, but they won't be ripped. To listen. Right. Logo on it. Am I okay to wear this to work? So, and once again, we might not judge that, put on what you want. But one of my favorite fashion gurus is Tim Gunn. If anyone used to watch Project Runway when it first came out, Tim Gunn was like the fashion guru, and he in his book called it the slobification of America.
I feel personally
because I felt very judged when he said that. That was like the early aughts, and he was like, basically, it's this trend where America is going towards, there's no delineation between your casual clothing and the clothes, your workout clothes, your run your errands to the supermarket clothes, and what you're gonna meet your friends in. The same sweats that you go to the supermarket in when your girls say, come back and, come over and hang out with me, whereas our mothers might have been like, oh, well, let me change my clothes and put on some lipstick and go see Karen. I'm going in the same hoodie I was just in Wegmans in. I'm not changing. So he saw that and he was like, it's a slobification of America. He's like, not we, because he was always in a suit. He's
never that.
You wear sneakers to everything. You wear sweats to everything. You wear hoodies to everything. And it became the slobification. And I, working at home was definitely ultra casual, because I was like, who's going to see me? It's March. It's cold. I'm not going anywhere. I have a lot of sweats that I can put on. And I'm now at a point where I'm not saying I'm wearing a caftan, to telework every single day, even though I probably have amassed enough that I really could have a complete work from home caftan wardrobe. There are some days that I get up and I'm looking at my computer, like, do I have any meetings where WebEx is going to be turned on? Do I have to do any trainings today where my trainees are going to see me? And on those days where my camera is going to be on, those are days where I say, yeah, I'm going to put on caftan. Because to me, it's effortlessly chic. I can put on a caftan and look like I'm just knocking about the house. And then I could keep that same unlike the hoodie, where no matter what I do, a hoodie's a hoodie. I could get up in the morning, take my shower, slide on my caftan, and not be on camera and look somewhat casual, and then be like, oh, we're going to run out to see so-and-so. Let me grab my mask. Let me put on a big gold necklace and some bangles and some lip gloss. And all of a sudden that caftan looks very fancy. And it looks like I put a lot of effort into my appearance when all I did was throw on some accessories, same outfit. And I think part of why this is resonating with us is because we are pulled in so many different directions. To have to stop and think about, what am I wearing to this? What am I wearing to that? We all are involved in so many different things. And I feel like we also get caught up in this whole, I see everyone's pictures on social media, and I feel like we get into this whole idea of costuming. Like, I have to dress a certain way because I'm going to go do this. So when I'm trying to be a ladies who lunch, this is what I wear. And when I'm trying to be the PTA mom, I have to wear this and I have to wear that. And it's stressful. And
and what we don't need is more stress. That's why we got our hair hats on, we got our braids. Ain't nobody got time.
As easy as possible, even though we are at home. And being in the fashion industry, watching the trends, one trend that has been consistently, a good seller when you look at women's fashion, things come in and go, different types of trousers will come in. The skirts hasn't had a moment in a while because people don't know what they're supposed to wear with a skirt, but dresses and jumpsuits have been having a moment for years. It's not even a moment. Dresses have been like consistently good. When you look at product categories, dresses are consistently good. In recent years, rompers and jumpsuits have been thrown into the mix. And the reason why is because we like one-piece dressing. We don't want to have to
that's
go
what the caftan does.
Say,
I don't have to worry about what's on the top and the bottom.
Right. What am I wearing?
And I lotion my ankles and keep it rolling.
Exactly. What am I wearing with my pants? What am I wearing with this shirt? What am I putting on the bottom? We love dresses just in general because it's so easy for us to slide on and look polished and put together without having to think about those pants that don't fit well and can I camouflage it with a sweater? And kaftans, I think, give us that. But the way, like my dressy dresses are my dressy dresses. Yeah. But my kaftans can be both. It can be both. And I don't have to think about it. And I do feel that even though, we talk about when we put it on, it's our husa moment and our jobs might not be the most husa of our days. Not my job, no. I feel good when I work in a kaftan. Like I don't feel like it's making me feel stressed and now the kaftan is sullied because I went to, where I feel good. I'm at my desk and I'm like, y'all might be stressing out, but I'm good. Like I'm fine. Like with y'all might want to put on a kaftan. Y'all might feel better about yourselves. Like we're not saving the world, we're selling jeans. So I don't feel for me, but that's my industry. Other people might find that I like to keep it separate because I know there are a lot of cuties who would, put pictures in the group and say, my work day is over. And they were working from home. They're like, my work day is over. Like their reward, like you said, your reward for showering and working out and then showering is to put in your kaftan. They were like, I'm at the end of the workday. We have a cutie who's a registered nurse and she does hospice care, in-house hospice. She visits people who are at the end of life. So when she comes home, taking off her polo shirt and her, her uniform and put on a kaftan is beautiful. But we also have a cutie who's a principal and she went back to, in-person school about 2 weeks ago. And she was beautifully posting pictures of her at her school doing back to school activities in kaftans. So it's kind of like, you get in where you fit in. There's no rules. And that is beautiful because there are no rules.
So I think Karen is stuck a little bit. I'm going to jump in and actually connect and tag on with what you just said. There is a connection between feeling well, looking well and feeling well. There is a connection there. We all have that day. We're just kind of like, oh, I just need a shower. I need to get into something clean, something new, and you feel better, right? There's that thing. But I'm just going to take it a step further and bring you into my world for a minute. There's a reason why, we always try to make someone who has an illness or who has a diagnosis that's pretty intense, severe, and there's a reason for encouraging them to think positively. So when you think positively, that also can help in your recovery, in your healing process, whatever you're going through, be it physical, be it mental, medical, there is a connection, right? And the connection for most of us, and I'm going to go a little bit further, is hormonal, right? So it's a hormonal connection. Why? Because we have many things that cause our body stress. So we can think of stress on many different levels. We can think of stress to your body as illness. We can think of stress to your body as the environment, whatever the environment kind of stressors that's on your body. And we could think about just kind of like I'm having a stressful day. So those are different ways your body receives stress. It's all received as stress, even though you see it differently. So I have patients that'll say, I've had this headache for days. And, I'll tell them like, you're in, of course, if it's not any other reason, and we've evaluated that, your body can feel stress that way. Your body can express a headache as stress. Dehydration is a form of stress on your body. So taking care of yourself, which is, again, what people, you feel better, you look better, taking care of yourself helps in your recovery. Your cortisol level, goes up. The other hormones go down, and therefore you have a situation where now you're hormonally imbalanced. For some of us who do emotional eating, that's usually the cause.
Girl, now you getting all in our business here. Come on now.
Right.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Exactly. But there is a connection, right? So we eat, and why does eating make me feel better? Why
It
do
really
I
does,
have,
though.
you know,
Eating in a caftan is, I have to say,
right?
that's a win-win.
A win-win, right? And so there's a reason why, there's certain food products that can make you feel like you feel good, because there may be hormones in them, there may be ingredients in them that can kind of um, and this is speculated, right? So this is not where the studies consistently show, but we feel it, right? So I know for me, I didn't understand why I used to have a bowl of cereal every night. Well, that's because
You did. Oh my God. Like
yes.
from like 18 months old to like 45.
Right now, you telling all of my business now.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. Sorry.
so there's a reason why they believe there's just like mucus and certain things and things like cheese and milk. It's the mucus of that animal, and so that has hormones in it. They produce their own hormones, and they're also given hormones, and so it's that our body has to deal with. But a lot of times that helps us in certain ways. Again, it's really a hormonal imbalance. So I tell people, when you're stressed, right? Let's say you're feeling stressed.
Yeah.
Or you're not feeling well, you need to work on being well, right? So allow your body to rest.
Can you give us one thing? Because we've been hearing that a lot. Start me off with one thing. You already know I'm calling you after the call. I'm trying to be, I'm almost pescatarian except for the oxtails I ate yesterday.
Right.
So now I'm going to be vegan next week.
Right.
And then do 6-7 days a week of exercise.
Right.
In my opinion, that is realistic.
Right.
that can be realistic to you, not so realistic. So there's a couple things that I have to unpack there, right? There's the diet. And so with the diet situation in general,
everybody on this line has been told we fat at the doctor. So let's,
at some point.
We know this.
Okay, so I already know what my doctor's going to say when I go. Does that help the situation? No, it does not. And so does that make me more stressed? Probably so. Do I push my appointment back so I don't have to hear what he has to say or she has to say? Probably so. So, but it doesn't make it any better. A friend of mine told me old news is not like wine. It does not get better with time. So let's just get it over with, right?
I like that.
So with that said, so certain foods, right? There's the actual food that can cause the, so let's take, for example, let me give a very generic example. Carbohydrates, let's say, for example, carbohydrates, your body just feels that as, breaks down as sweets, right? Just if it's bread, if it's, I'm gonna just say white rice, whatever it is, brown rice is still seen as a carb, but it's better. But let's just say carb. Right? Your body breaks that down and seen as sweet. Well, carbs make you crave more carbs, make you crave more carbs, make you crave more carbs. Now we have nowhere to put this extra carb, but on the places that we're not happy about, our abs, our arms, our butt, our thighs, different things. So now we have this weight gain. And now we have, and I'm gonna give you a medical term, it's called adipocytes. So adipocytes are fat cells. And so now you have these fat cells that release hormones. So we're back again at this kind of hormone thing, right? So I don't want you going to your doctor saying you want a hormone check. Don't do that. That is very annoying, and there's no way to do that, okay? Just know that if you're overweight or you have more weight than you should, you likely are balancing more hormones, right? So that's why a lot of women come to me, and you have me going down a slippery slope here. So that's why a lot of women—
Don't go too far down, because I just need a takeaway today.
Okay, all right.
Next class,
this is what I love to talk about.
What do you want me to do?
Like the quick and dirty.
Okay, the quick and dirty is stress. Try not to stress yourself and add more stress to yourself.
Come on. No, what does that mean?
So that means that you cannot be vegan tomorrow, right? That's not going to mean that. It means that you have to walk into that, investigate. What does that mean? Is that realistic? Can I truly have no animal products? Can I do that? No animal products means no cheese, you know, that. So yeah, so you're already squinting at that. So
Honey.
that's not you. That's not you, honey.
That's half
So
the charcuterie, though. Okay, all right, fine. So I have to tailor my diet for real, because
right,
it contributes to the stress,
to
which
what
we've heard.
works, to what
Yeah,
works for you, right? So being realistic again, because that adds to the stress.
What works for your best friend who dropped 10 pounds because they went keto
that
last
heifer here.
week?
Please don't get me talking
What
on
works
keto,
for
y'all.
you?
Please, I don't want to do it. Okay, so right, so just remember, okay, let me get my points together for you. So decrease the stress you add. If you have stress to your body from not feeling well, make yourself feel better. Wait till you feel better, get rest, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. You will
Yeah,
never feel what, yes, I like that. You will never feel, you will always feel horrible if you
that's true.
are dehydrated. It doesn't matter what you're doing, right? And so many people paid lots of dollars to go to the ER to get IV, and all they got was some fluids that they could have went home
Yeah, you
and
could
drank.
have drank
So
water.
right.
That's
So
true.
let me just tidy that up for you, give you a bullet point. You got stress, you have stress. There's certain foods that have ingredients in it that can add to fat, which gives you hormones or hormonal imbalance, which is, I'm going to just label as stress to the body. And now you're
Mhm.
trying to balance all this and it doesn't help. And again, if you don't look good, so now I'm gaining weight, I don't look good, I have to, and you don't feel well. And it just throws you in a cycle of some other things. That could be depression, that could be anxiety, whatever that is. So you just want to be mindful of the unnecessary stress you add to yourself. Eat well, drink water. I'm keeping it very general and basic.
Okay. No, no, no. I appreciate that. And I want to circle back a little bit to something you said, because you talked about not just stress, but the stress you add,
I
Right.
was
right?
going to highlight that too, Karen. I was like, I wanted to make sure you all
Avoid stress. Like that's
heard
not
that,
life. But
because
there's
your job is
this,
going to bring you stress, your children are going to bring you stress. But Dr.
Right.
Amina said, lessen the stress you put on you. That
Right.
part.
So, so for me, I had to learn how to delegate. So that can mean my 15 things that I have on my list, maybe little Johnny can help fold the clothes. They may not be folded well and to your liking, but some things you may have to let go off of your list. You may not even be able to fold the clothes this week. You may have to just live out of the basket this week, but you have to
yeah.
be realistic and say, okay, you know what? It's Sunday at 6. What needs to be done so I can function well on Monday morning, like that. So sometimes you have to, because if you're still looking at that list of now 13 things that you're trying to get done before the weekend is over, that's stress that you have
And
added to.
you ruining what's left of your weekend. Am I
Right.
not correct?
Right. No, that's true. And also, so again, is sleep needed for you? So yes, sleep is needed. Why? Again, that whole hormonal thing. Sorry. Okay.
Oh,
Off of
word.
that.
Sleep.
So now are you up doing the 13 things and now you're going to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning and you got to wake up at 6 to be at work? Right. So therefore, that's not balance, right? That's not realistic. You're adding stress to your body. If you're trying to lose weight, it's not going to happen if you're not getting the right amount of sleep. So make sure, so you're going to have to do a new term I learned was, you guys probably already know it because we don't do this in medicine, but hard stop, right? You're going to have to do
Hard
a
stop.
hard stop
Yes.
at a certain time of the day. So hey, in order for me to get 8 hours of sleep, I have to wake up at 6 o'clock. I have to be in bed by 10 or sleeping by 10, which means I have to be in bed by 9. For those of us who have a little bit of insomnia and it takes us a little time, just right. Right. So
Right, because then I gotta Google nonsense like how tall was Jesus and how fast did I make my hair grow, and it's stupid because it's not happening at 2 o'clock. And now I haven't slept, and now I'm fatter tomorrow because I'm all up from not sleeping. I definitely want to bring the audience in, so I'm going to let you keep talking, Dr. Jones and Nicole. But people want to hear about keto on both YouTube and Zoom. And I was doing keto and I was going good for a long stretch.
so I will say this: keto will give you the results that you need. Why? Because people are not doing the carbohydrates. right? So that's kind of like the Atkins diet back in the day. But think about what you're eating, things that have a lot of fat in them. So now you have put
No,
yourself
no, but
at
listen, I
risk
mean,
for a heart attack. You're
I
gonna be
mean,
cute,
like,
but you're gonna have a heart attack. No, I'm just kidding. No, you are cute, but you put yourself at risk for a heart attack. Now, so I had a patient who came in. She's like, Doc, you're gonna be so proud of me. I haven't seen you in a while, and I've been doing this keto diet. I lost the weight, and I was like, okay, so how are you doing with? She was like, but I'm a little worried about my cholesterol, and her cholesterol was so it's supposed to be less than 150,
right.
and hers was 450.
Oh,
Right, but she was smaller, but she just was now at risk. And now you have this 48-year-old woman who, had some other risk factors, right? She's a smoker. She also drinks heavily, but you've lost the weight that we were trying to do. You just did it in not so healthy of a way. And so now you I have to put you on cholesterol medicine because we have to reverse
Dr.
that
Jones, not to
along
cut
with
you
a
off,
change.
but I literally had a doctor say to me at one point, I was looking pretty good and I was doing the keto. And he said, your cholesterol is high, but don't worry about it because you've lost weight. So I haven't seen him again. But can we do
Was
a
not a lifestyle doctor.
modified?
He was not a lifestyle doctor.
No, no,
Yeah, no, he
no,
was
no.
not a lifestyle
That's straight primary care. That's
Yep.
medicine. That's medical school taught me that. Sorry,
doctor. Oh,
but yes, you don't want to have high cholesterol. So if you come to
yeah.
me, I will talk down about keto diets all day. You will not hear. It's good. It would give you what you want to look like, but you will be at risk. And if you are related to anybody in a minority factor, then you have double your risk of a heart attack.
I have time for a heart attack. I have to work tomorrow. I
Right.
have to
Nobody
file
has
all
time for
stank
that.
emails in my
Things to
caftan.
do.
I got, yeah. So let's get some more audience. There's a lot of folks commenting. Oh, hey, Diane Foster wants to know where to buy a caftan. So if Caftan Cutie Nicole can post some sites. I'm wearing um,
All your money.
Asa caftans, Asa Sultan. I'll put that in. I'm gonna say this group has single-handedly brought back all your grandmothers and your aunties magazine, especially yours, Astro. All those labels. They got good cheap caftans, but for women of a certain age, you want to wear those in the fall and the winter because you will combust. That was not a summer caftan coming out of it, especially yours.
So I've always been, even before this, I'm a high-low shopper. So what that means is I mix in my own wardrobe, I mix pieces that are higher end designers, a little bit on the bridge price to expensive price to, hey, I splurged. I saw my girl Debbie Lorenzo dropped in here and I bought my Francis Gray hat, which is the most I've ever spent for anything that sits on my head. So I will buy those, but then I'll also be in Old Navy and get like a denim jacket to wear with my expensive hat. So I've always been a high-low shopper. So when it comes to caftans, my shopping habits are the same, especially because shortly after, as I mentioned earlier, after I started this, I was furloughed. So although I was still teaching for part of the time that I was furloughed, and then that stopped, and I was getting, unemployment and all that stuff, it still wasn't my full income. So, I have to be cognizant of what I'm shopping. Although, my family members listening in are probably like, you were being cognizant of what you were shopping for, because every day a package comes. But some days it's, a $12.99 caftan that I pick up on Zulily or Amazon, where I just go to Zulily or Amazon and type caftan, type it with a C and type it with a K, and you will get, all types of price points on there. I've also, like Dr. Karen said, I think I've single-handedly revitalized, especially yours and Ashro, to the point where Ashro actually invited me to be a guest blogger and do some reviews. So if you go to Ashro's website and go to their blog site, there's a guest post from me where they sent me some of their fall caftans and had me do a review of some of their new fall styles that are coming in, because they were seeing the buzz and they were seeing that we were talking about it. I've also buy Asa is one of my favorite ones, the one that Dr. Karen is wearing, Asa caftans. Absolutely, if you watched Shahs of Sunset when it first came out. Asa was one of the people on there, and she's launched it.
Just stunning, gorgeous, gorgeous,
Or in
gorgeous.
California, and she treated us very well when she couldn't open her boutique by giving us wonderful discounts online for shopping with her. The kaftan that I have on today is by a label called Grassfields. It's grass
Yes, out of London.
and this is created by two Cameroonian sisters who launched a kaftan, no fashion background, but they too knew how well they felt when they used to put on their traditional clothing, and they launched a clothing line a few years ago. My sister, the one who was said that she was going to move into her Mrs. Roper wardrobe to work from, she also was in the Cuties group saying, oh no, I love them, and a bunch of us have bought kaftans from them as well. So I would say like Asa, Grassfields, those are some that are on, some of the higher price points of kaftans that I've bought. Zulily, Ashro, you'll get kaftans by Winlard, like all of those.
And Amazon, Nick, like a bunch of us just went and got it from Amazon.
Some of my favorites come from Amazon. You could type in black kaftan, red kaftan, and they will give you a whole host of kaftans. And then, people were like, I was in my corner store on Flatbush Avenue. One of my friends said that she saw some in Jackson. I'm sure they were probably meant to be beach cover-ups, but we will style it.
Whatever.
And then on Instagram, I actually follow a few people, mostly out west, California, Texas, who are kaftan designers. And in our Kaftan Cuties group, we have a kaftan designer who often posts her one-of-a-kind looks. And one of those designers that I follow on Instagram, Carla Christoph, she actually sent me one of her. She does custom-made ones, so those are fit to your body.
Carla Christoph, beautiful, beautiful pieces.
Beautiful. And then Dorothy Robertson, who's in our Kaftan Cuties group. If you're in our Kaftan Cutie group, she posts them, and as quickly as they're posted, they're gone because she makes them.
Dorothy Robertson, did we say?
Yes. So Dorothy Robertson. There's so many options out there. I never knew. Like I really didn't know. But
and
there's so many options.
out of Egypt.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't shout out Gypsy. So Gypsy out of Egypt is on Etsy. And from the beginning,
GIPSI for those who are
looking. No, it's GIPCI. It's with
GIPCI. Sorry, I can't
and Gypsy has been very good to my Kaftan Cuties. This is why it benefits. Membership has its privileges because the owner Riyadh once Riyadh started seeing that all these women were like running to the site to buy kaftans, we started getting discounts from that Etsy site. And I will tell you, Cuties listening, Riyadh and I have been in contact over the past week, and we are cooking up something for the end of September that you're going to be very excited about. So get your coins and your cameras ready.
Yes.
Because, there's more to come on that, but you got to be in the group to know.
Okay, well, join. If you're on Facebook, please join Kaftan Cuties. Started out as like 30 people and is now like at 1,800 people or so. And it's just honestly a stress relieving type place to see beautiful people. And there are men who offer Kaftan Cuties. So
we call them our Kaft men.
Kaftman, I have to say, for me, and Dr. Amina touched on this, I feel my blood pressure lower when I'm looking at beautiful pictures and not responding to nonsense and I have to say, we didn't just deal with a pandemic, we dealt with extraordinary cruelty, racism, police brutality. So all of these things came together all at the same time. And I was so grateful for this little group and this little item of clothing. So I wanted to point that out, but I'm going to also touch on some of the, we want to keep our audience involved too. And they are talking on YouTube. Shout out to Dr. Ken Richmond, Dr. Amina, he's on there. Let's see, having an alkaline diet is key. All right, brother-in-law, Dr. Jones, can you, wait a minute. And also while you are addressing the alkaline diet, I guess that's in relation to inflammation maybe. Also, someone is mentioning, Donna Corsi is saying you have a schedule in mind, but you got to put it on paper. Because we can't be committed to no abstract schedules on or around 2
Right.
o'clock, I'm gonna wake up. Wrong. Talk a little bit about that.
Right. So yeah, I think I have a feeling who wrote about that alkaline diet. So
My
there.
brother-in-law is fine.
Right. Um, so I'll, for the sake of time, I will have you Google that. There are lots of different vegetables and um, mostly vegetables and herbs that you can add to your diet that does help. So inflammation is basically at the molecular level. That really is the cause of the issue. So and so I did say hormones because that is part of your immune system, but your inflammatory markers or inflammation is on that level of immune response. And what happens is when you have a lot of adipose cells, when you have certain foods in your diet, it increases the inflammation, like processed foods. So bacon and
Come on now.
Bacon.
I'm sorry, beef jerky and all kinds of processed meats, cold cuts and whatever if it's processed. So we hear about this whole foods diet and it's a hard diet to be on, but the good thing about it is that one way I like to think about it is it looks at your the whole food. So if you think about it, what they're saying is it's better to eat that whole food, which is the apple, that you know what it is, as opposed to the apple sauce, which how did it become apple sauce, right? So that's basically the process. And you could do that for many other foods, foods that have that's made it, they always say it's better to eat the actual food as opposed to all the other things and ingredients in there. So it becomes more processed, and the more processed, especially if it can stand alone on the shelf without without dying, hence there's an issue. And I would say most of your alkaline foods you probably would find in the produce department. So if you
on the outer parts of the
right,
supermarket.
Yeah. So if you spend majority of your time in the produce part of the grocery store, then that's where you want to be without going into too much detail and taking up too much time. And then the whole schedule situation. So one thing I also wanted to mention is that when I say realistic, I mean that I've even had to pencil in when I'm going to the bathroom, when I'm going to take a drink of water. Yeah, because when you're busy and you're moving around, sometimes I have to do that. I'm like, you know what? It's a hard stop at 12. I think I'm going, because when you realize you've gone all day and you haven't stopped to do things that most people have probably done several times that day, or you've barely, for me, I wear a mask and, PPE most of my day. So I haven't taken that off to drink water and my mouth is dry. There's an issue. So I may have to set my alarm and make myself do that, So sometimes you have to be as realistic as that is for you, penciling in meals. You don't want to go hungry. That again causes your sugar to go up and down, things like that. Then you tend to overeat when you get home because you haven't eaten all day. I always try to tell people to eat heavier during the day than they do at night, unless you work at night. But
and Dr. Jones, isn't it the case that a lot of times when you're hungry, you're actually thirsty?
So we always encourage you. Yes. So that's the general thought process, is to make sure that you're not thirsty, right? So the general thought is that for how much you weigh, you should drink that many ounces divided by 2.
Oh, that's a lot of ounces.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh.
So you
all right. Okay.
Yeah, so you just got a little bit more work to do, but you got a few more hours and you can get that in.
You can get it in.
So your weight divided by 2 is how much water you should be drinking
in ounces
per day.
Yeah.
Debbie Lorenzo, I see you in your car. You're gonna be able to drink all that water, girl, and you actually don't weigh a lot. I'm just saying that's a lot.
Halfway there, then.
Okay. You can't get no hats done drinking all that water.
You get up from the desk all day. You don't have to schedule any.
No, but you know what? I asked for a specific thing to take away, and that's a takeaway. getting your sleep is a takeaway, making your list and writing it down, and the realistic lists and all that, that's a takeaway. I can't be vegan tomorrow. That's a takeaway. Um, Definitely wash up earlier so I can wear my caftan all day, maybe, or work out earlier. That's my challenge.
Right.
I got a few takeaways.
Right. If I could interject, also understand that if you're exercising, you usually kind of drink a lot more water during that time. So you're taking in about 16 to 32, if not more ounces at that setting. For me, I usually take a 16-ounce water bottle with me. And when I come back, I'll probably do another 16. So you've already had 32. So if you set your alarm at noon to have your 64 ounces, then you there. If you set yourself and you see I'm behind, but I'm gonna catch up.
That's because you're talking.
So, ladies, I would ask both of you to speak a little bit about your businesses and your endeavors so that folks can get to know how to reach out to you for additional questions. This has certainly been really helpful for me because I feel like we took something that seems flippant, right? For some people, the caftans just seem very flippant, but there's a very real mental health benefit that has been established by this conversation. So my thinking, hey, Sands, that's Nicole's sister, Nadine Finnegan Carr, Dr. Nadine on the check-in, who's drinking it all her water and doing her yoga, and I'm totally into what she's doing right now. But I want the two of you to really highlight what you're working on. I want to just say before the two of you get into that my focus today has been to highlight people, and specifically people of color, and even more specifically Black people, for us to now use this opportunity to take control of our mental health, our physical health, our financial lives, to live our best lives. You couldn't tell me that in 2020 we were going to have somebody like a Chad Boseman dying of cancer, or the tremendous loss that individuals have suffered. It shouldn't take that for us to say, what do I need to be doing for myself next? Because time is not promised. So I wanted to highlight these women because they are doing that. And so I'm going to ask maybe to start off with CEO Nicole. What are your projects? How can people get in touch with you? What have you got for us?
So, as you would say, I'm going to quote you. You said a lot, and you actually, made me think of something that I want to get out to everyone watching before I even give you my contact information, which was that, I wasn't necessarily actively looking for, I'm going to create something that's going to just make me feel good or boost my spirits or boost other people's spirit. It was a spur of the moment thing that I created that has grown into this. Prior to this, I was going to, virtual Zoom parties. I was taking dance classes from home, just other things to keep myself engaged. And this was just one of those things. But, when you stop and you take stock of, who you are and where you come from and the different examples that you've had in life, I have to look back and say that I do give a lot of credit to, the reason why I'm even here and have this energy and have this kind of spirit, because I had like one of the best role models I could have ever expected to have, which was my mom. So my mom has been gone for going on 5 years now, but my sisters and I joke all the time about, just the different life lessons that you don't realize are life lessons at the time, and the different things your parents do that seem real funny to you. But then when you think back and you realize the way that you are like walking your walk, you realize that, oh my God, this is her kind of coming through. And you kind of said something just now about how, it's not frivolous. And that's one thing, is it could appear that way. It's like we in the middle of all this stuff is going on, and these chicks are in this group parading around in these caftans and putting on lipstick. Don't they know the world is falling apart? Don't you know people are being killed in the streets? Don't you know that there's a pandemic? Don't you know that shooting crimes have doubled in New York City? Like, there's a whole host of things going on. But to the credit of the people who are part of the Caftan Cuties movement, we don't bring that in our group. We know all these things are going on,
Right.
I see you. I see you, cuties. I see you at the marches. I see you, manning the phone banks, calling people to register them to vote. I see you sending out your postcards. I see all the work you're doing, but I also know that all of that chips away at you a little bit. It's stressful.
Yes.
You go to the rally and you can't help but think about why you're at the rally. It makes you feel, a certain way. And we
Right.
don't bring it in the group. And I never had to say it. I didn't state it in the announcements. People come in there and we don't bring that in with us. We don't come in. I don't have to tell anyone, don't post videos of someone getting choked. We've
Right.
probably all seen it other parts of social media. Social
Too
media can be
much.
very, very toxic. And to the credit of the cutie community, when they come into the group, it's like they're physically opening the door, walking into the group, shutting all the other stuff outside. We're not pretending it doesn't exist. But when we come into the Caftan Cuties group, we come in there to feel good. We want to look good. And another thing that, kind of took off without me having to say it was that cuties just started commenting on each other's pictures when we started posting our pictures. And, I said this when I spoke with Doctors Karen and Amina last week. Before this, when you're outside facing the world, we're thinking again about what am I wearing to go to this? I have to teach tomorrow. It's the first time I'm going to be in the classroom since March. And I've been thinking all weekend about what am I wearing for the first time into the classroom? I want to impress my students. I'm a fashion professor. What am I going to wear? And when I put on my caftan, I'm not putting it on, love it when my husband looks at me when we go out and I look good. Because of course I'm getting dressed thinking I'm going out with him. So I want to make sure that, we look like that couple. But when I put on my caftan, I'm not thinking about, does my husband think it looks good? Does my kids? Does my best friend? I'm putting it on for me. And then when I post the pictures, I'm posting because I'm like, look, guys, I feel good. I look good today. And, the group gives us the permission to feel good and look good. So my example, my mother, she was that chick. And, she got sick 14 years before she passed. She was diagnosed with congestive heart failure and COPD. And she was in declining health for the last 14 years of her life and in and out of hospitals. And my baby sister lived with her and, my dad, and she would call us when, my mother would get admitted to the hospital. And there were two instances when she was getting admitted. And one of the instances, my sister was like, we're getting her ready. They're coming to pick her up because she has to go to the hospital. And she was like, where's my mink hat? And my sister's like, you about to go to the hospital. You need your mink hat to go to the hospital?
Right.
And she's like, it's winter, it's cold. I need the mink hat. And they could have grabbed any other hat. They know it's cold. They could have put a scarf around her, pashmina on her head and been like, we know it's cold. But she was like, where's my mink hat? And then another time, again, she was going back into the hospital and she asked my sister, where's my scarf? And my sister goes, grabs a scarf. She goes, the one that matches my coat.
Of course.
Okay.
Why are you trying to get somebody
And
to
she
come
was
on?
like, the one that matches the coat. And again, she's sick. She's on oxygen. And again, she's also thinking about, but how am I presenting myself to the world? I don't have to look sick. I don't have to look it. And we might have things going on. Dr. Amina's talked about the host of things that's plaguing us as we age and maybe not taking care of ourselves the way that we should. And, when you feel good, when you do good things on the inside, obviously that comes out. It looks, good. You know that you're drinking the water. You know that you're minding your business. You know that you're breathing clean air.
Minding your business will save your life too.
Wow, but there's also
Keep you healthy.
something to be said for giving yourself that permission to also look good when you don't feel good. She never, even when she was in the hospital, I would go visit her in the hospital and she might have lipstick on. My sister might have come through and done her nails. The nurses might have braided her hair when she was in a rehab facility because she always wanted to make sure that she was presenting herself in a way, even in a hospital gown. She was in the hospital one year right before Thanksgiving, came out with a cardiac event, came out of the hospital the day before Thanksgiving. I drive down from Westchester to go to my parents' house for Thanksgiving, and she's there with bright red lipstick. Her hair is blown out, and she's done up. And I'm saying to myself, I done told all my Facebook friends, you just got out the hospital yesterday, having a cardiac event, and here you are looking better than I do. And she was like, well, people are coming by the house. So giving ourselves that permission to look good, we want to feel good. We want to make sure we're doing the things that we need to feel good and to have that natural glow, because we know we are doing all the things that Dr. Amina and our doctors and what the books say and what works for you. But you want to also give yourself that permission to say, I want to walk past the mirror and not be like, oh my God, am I still in this robe? Oh my goodness, when's the last time I combed my hair? And, I'm not saying it's an everyday thing. Again, there's so much going on in the world. There's obviously a lot much better things to focus on than how to look when, we have all these other things swirling about us. But if you try it and you put yourself together that one day, it's amazing. Even me getting dressed up for the tea that spawned the conversation that brought us to where we are today. That act of putting on an outfit and putting on my pearls and, fascinator and all that made me feel good. So really think wholesale about the things that you might think are frivolous, like doing your nails when no one's going to see them, might not be frivolous if it makes you feel good. So with that said, if you want to engage with me some more, first thing is head to the group that started it all, Caftan Cuties on Facebook. If you go to Facebook and go into your search bar and type in Caftan with a C, Cuties, Cuties, it will pop up. And you can just click it that you want to follow. I will see that you have asked to join the group and I will let you in. If you have friends already in the group, all of my cuties, you don't know if you know it. And a lot of you do know it because at this point, most of the cuties in the group aren't even my personal contacts. Anyone in the group has the power to invite somebody in. Right. So if you know people who you feel, would benefit from being in our community and would love to be in the community, you don't even have, there are a lot of people in the community who don't even own caftans yet, but they just love coming in, seeing the pictures, complimenting everybody, uplifting everybody, and just enjoying the space, even without ever putting on a caftan or putting on a caftan and not posting a picture. You don't have to. Join in on our events, engage with us. So that's one. I also have an Instagram page. It's at _caftan_cutie. That is more of a pictorial of the life of the Caftan cutie. And oftentimes I will take pictures of my cuties from Facebook and I will highlight them on the Caftan Cuties IG page because you guys are beautiful. And I love spreading the beauty of the Caftan Cuties everywhere. I also launched a lifestyle blog site earlier this summer, and it is www.thecaftancutie.com. So follow me there. I promise I'm going to have more interesting content coming for fall. I had to kind of stop what I was doing and ease back into coming off of furlough and working and getting my college student set up with remote learning, and my son's back in school. But I want to give you guys more content, more blogs, more videos, styling videos. So make sure that you're on the website, read the blogs, like them, share them, comment on them if you'd like. I also have a YouTube page. There's probably like about 2 videos, about to be 3. And that is also the Caftan Cutie. If you go on YouTube and search the Caftan Cutie, you will find me there. And if you want to email me, my email is thecaftancutie@gmail.com.
So Nick, I'm going to ask you to put all of that in the chat because the cuties and our visitors on the line probably ain't got no pen. They're probably doing a refill on their cocktails and their tea. So please put it in the chat. I'm going to ask the same question of Dr. Jones, and we're coming down to pretty much the end, or we have a little bit of time, but I'm going to ask you a question that came up in the chat, and then you can kind of tell us where to reach out to you and that sort of thing. Nick talked about just the beauty of the whole Caftan Cutie situation and movement. And what I've ascertained is that it's a way of putting yourself first. It's a little small way, like you don't have to do a whole lot. It's just slipping it on over a fresh body just does something for your psyche. And it's a way of putting yourself first. But my girl, Kashida Maloney, hey girl. Kashida Maloney wants to know, how do you stay consistent? We have stops and starts all the time. We start a diet, we end a diet, we start the keto, we on the no carbs, we exercising this week, we girl trek walking through history, we taking our 10,000 steps, and then life gets in the way and we stop. And so how do we maintain consistency? Can you give us a little something to, what do I have to put an app on my phone? Like, what can I do to be consistent?
No, that's a very good question, because I think we all struggle with that. And one of the best ways to do it that works for just about any change you're trying to do is get an accountability partner. So the
Doesn't
accountability
have to be a
partner
husband. I'm just, or, you know, I mean,
because I love my brother-in-law a lot, and I think he is
yeah, I know.
amazing. He could be, yes, he could be yours. But I will say this. So just a sidebar really quickly. The thing that I like about Caftan Cuties is that it accomplishes indirectly a lot of things that we encourage, or I encourage my patients to do. Get up and do something simple. Like, I know you don't feel like it. I know you're thinking about maybe someone who you lost, someone who is sick, you're tired of moving, you may be feeling down and out, whatever it is, and the effort is, or the thought of the effort is more work.
Yeah, that's true.
Something simple as a one piece, very light piece, a caftan that is beautiful in so many different ways. It's simple, and then it can actually matriculate or cause a cycle effect. So now you're like, well, I got this on, I think I might as well just get up and brush my teeth, and then maybe I'll wash my face, and then maybe I will, maybe I'll put my hair up in a simple ponytail, or just comb it back, or wet it and do whatever, wash and go, whatever it is. But yes, an accountability partner. That could be a group like this. It could be a person, a coworker, a family member, but someone you trust. So if it's sort of like, you know what, this is my season where I've lost a lot of family members, and I really want to, not get stuck in a rut and be in my bed every day. Or, I want you to hold me accountable. So what we're going to do is, go for walks every morning at 6, or, I hold you accountable on whatever you
Ooh,
need. You hold
6,
me
Lord, you know
accountable
you a
on whatever
doctor. 6 o'clock.
so
I'm
sometimes
only one of them academic doctors. You the 6 in the morning doctor.
Right. Well, I'm sorry. Oh, I said 6 in the morning. Sorry. So, so yeah. So whatever it is that that you need some help with, finding an accountability partner group, whatever it is helpful. Someone mentioned in the chat a few minutes ago, giving yourself grace is such an
Yes.
amazing piece of advice. Giving yourself grace, allowing yourself to say, you know what, today is Sunday, and I'm just going to be. And I'm just going to be fine. I'm going to sit. I'm going to watch this TV. I'm going to listen to nothing. I'm not going to answer my phone today. I'm going to unplug. I'm not going to check my email. Whatever happens tomorrow is tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to bring its own worries. So today I'm going to enjoy. And so you absolutely can
Yeah.
allow yourself grace. But if you find yourself that you keep slipping too often, and you're not able to accomplish whatever your goal is, finding an accountability partner or a way to hold you accountable is helpful. And that works with anything, with weight loss, with changing behaviors, with anything. It really is helpful. And again, I can't stress enough being realistic. There's 24 hours in the day. Take away 8 to 9 of those, because that is yours to go to sleep. Now you are working with 12. You probably are working 8 of those. Some people may have 10-hour shifts. So now you have, I forgot where I left off. What is that? 4?
Wait a minute, hold on. The 24 minus the 8. Okay, so 16, because I
Well,
can only go up to 24.
right.
And then another 8.
So that's 8.
And that's 8.
Right.
Math was not my major. Sorry, y'all.
Right. I was starting from 20, so I was wrong. But
Oh,
yes,
no,
you have 8 hours where you may not be able to get 13 things done, because it may take you 3 hours to do the laundry. So you really have to set realistic
Send the laundry out, people. Now, $1 for real. Life is too short.
Right. So that
Buy new underwear.
that told me, bring in some resources. Maybe somebody can help you with laundry. Somebody can help you clean the house.
Yes.
You trying to clean 4 bathrooms every Sunday or every Saturday, that's not the jump off all the time. So sometimes you got to delegate, be realistic, get you an accountability partner. And then maybe what you're trying to change may need more time. You may not be able to become a vegan tomorrow. You may have to walk that through and be realistic. Again, that stress. But
Yeah.
I will say, again, I can speak to it. Why? Because I lived it, because there was an expectation that I had in my head. When you are a medical physician, you are there for other people's problems. And so when you have a problem, what do? I don't have time for this problem. I have to get up and go to work. It doesn't happen. So the chest pain I'm feeling that my doctor keeps telling me to go see the cardiologist. Don't nobody got time for that. I have a workload of patients that I got to see that are scheduled already and need me to see them. No, you have to take out time for yourself. And so I could gain an appreciation of Nick's mom, who learned how to appreciate herself and make herself feel good. And it doesn't feel good to push yourself all day, every day into the next day. And now instead of starting off with a glass full, you starting off with a glass half full. And I'm teaching my patients to do exactly what I'm not doing and preserving them and helping them to lose weight. And I'm gaining weight. That does not work, and it makes you feel worse. So now when you feel worse, now that trickles into a cycle of some other things. So you got to go back to that place where you had peace, where things were working well. And a saying that it's not mine, but I definitely have gotten from wonderful friends of mine: preserve pastor, preserving your peace. You have to
Amen.
preserve your peace, regardless of what that means for you. Giving yourself, if that means giving yourself grace, being realistic, but preserving your peace, minding your business. I do that. Look, Amina, mind your business. All right. And so whatever that means, preserve your peace. And so
Please mind your
because
business.
of that, right. Because of that, having those kind of encounters with my patients, I realize that that's the kind of encounters I want more of. And so getting into Be Well is a telemedicine practice, and it focuses on coaching men and women, but coaching people into getting to the goal, which is their personal health goal. For some people, I'm thinking you're coming to me, I'm looking at your cholesterol's high. You're thinking you just want to fit back into your size 16 jeans. So I need to meet you where you're at, because my goal is not your goal. So
Right.
I'm already giving you stress, because I'm like, you need to do this and you need to do that. No, let me meet you where you are, and it's going to help us get to both destinations. And so Be Well is that kind of practice. We don't take the place of your primary care provider. We definitely want you to stay intact with your primary care provider. But if you've just been told that you are pre-diabetic and they've given you a whole bunch of medicines and you don't know what to do with that, no one explained to you the disease process or the medicines or anything, that's where you get that coaching and that education through me. So I'll put my information in the chat, but my email is Dr. Amina Jones at gmail.com. My Instagram account is B_well_doc. And my Facebook is this entire sentence, Be Well by Dr. Amina Jones. It's that entire sentence. That's it. But thank you for your time, and I'm happy
Before
to
you
help.
thank us for our time, I'm gonna squeeze in one more. This is the question that everybody struggles with. So many of us struggle with. How, for real, when you have got to please and prioritize everybody else, how do you prioritize yourself? In my opinion, it is a decision you make with every decision.
Right. So, I mean, there's a reason why.
Glad that you highlighted that one, Dr. Karen, because I saw Sarah Sheikh drop that in the chat, and I do want to shout her out as well, because she's new, and she was brought to me by a friend of mine, and she has a caftan line. She's an engineer, but her family has many generations of this caftan company called Covered Bliss. So I'm going to give you a shout out, Sarah.
Sarah stuff in the chat too.
She's an engineer, but she's also helping her family run literally a caftan company. So I know
so everybody is wearing out her last nerve.
Yeah, everybody. Sure. She's being pulled in 100 different directions. So when I saw her ask that question, I'm glad you brought it up, because I was like, yeah, because it's easy for us to say be easy. But when you are, to use her as an example, a trained engineer, multiple degreed, but then you're with the family business trying to sell these gorgeous caftans in a pandemic when we the only ones wearing them. Right. What do you do? What do you do? Because I know I have felt that way in the past, where it's like, I know I should do something for myself, but this one needs that one, that, and then you feel guilty if you try to carve out time or money or resources to do something that benefits only you. It's very hard. So I'm glad that you brought that question up.
Yep, that is a really good question, because I think we're all guilty of that. But, I give great advice. I don't take my advice well.
No, you don't.
I would say I do the same thing. I run myself in the ground all day. I literally don't go to sleep. I find myself that I have fallen asleep. So I usually kind of do the pass out on the couch, or, oh, okay, I've been asleep. I don't know how long it's happened. So I'll go upstairs, or what I just wrote in my patient's chart. I don't really know if that was English. So let me
There's a
stop
bunch of
and let me
Z's and
right.
Y's.
Exactly. So I would say this, there is a reason. And so we don't do it for ourselves, but there is a reason why on the plane they say, put your mask on first. So that's what I remind myself, right? So I remind myself to put my mask on first. And I know it's easier said than done, but for me, taking time out for myself may just mean going to take a shower. And in that shower, it's an extra long shower. It might be 30 minutes or 35 minutes. So now the kids may be outside tearing up the
You got
house.
that good hot water too.
Right, right. Yeah. My, as a friend said, I got that project hot water.
Yeah, you
Sorry.
got that hood hot water. Word.
Sorry. So anyway, I would say this, take time for your, I mean, you definitely have to make, you have to, you may not be able to do it every day. But again, being realistic, but you probably, could use small snippets of time. My closet is a place, and I know Karen, I love your closet, but your closet may be a place where your family thinks you're going to pick an outfit out, or they think you're, oh, she's coming down, she'll be down in a minute. But no, you sitting, just getting some, a few minutes to yourself. It could be in the dark. It could be whatever.
Drinking in the closet.
Okay, getting.
I ain't gonna lie, y'all.
Right.
A glass of something and the emails, and I'm just slumped over the vanity. It's fine.
Right. So sometimes it just may mean small snippets of time, but that's okay. That's enough to say that you prioritize. It may just mean putting the laptop cover down for a minute, covering your eyes and just taking those few minutes. But it doesn't have to be a whole day or a whole hour. But prioritizing yourself, you just have to make it happen, because I remind myself that if something happens to me, life still goes on.
Life does still go on, and it could, honestly, I agree with you. Sometimes it's as simple as not jumping right out of your car.
Yeah.
Just get, now I'm not gonna say, you should have a McDonald's bag while you're in the car like I used to do back in the day, but there's something to be said for just sitting just for a second. Just sit, just make the decision to close down your mind if you can. Try not to answer your phone, even if it's from someone really important. That news can wait, because what that person is calling to do, yes, is to inform you, but it will also disturb your peace. I look at the phone like, I love her, but I need an hour. Or, I am available to attend your event, but I'm not going. My presence is the gift. Your presence is the gift. Your mental health is the greatest gift you can give to yourself. And so I thank CEO Nicole. I thank Dr. Amina for participating in this amazing conversation. I thank the cuties on the line, whether you're in the group, not in the group, supporters, families, haters, whoever you are, you just came to listen to something good. I hope that goal was accomplished. I think it was. I think we had a great conversation. And I'm going to keep the windows up for a little while so that you can get Dr. Jones's information, CEO Nicole's information, Sarah, if we got, anybody who's doing anything now, please make it a point to post in your various chats and let us know. Because I'm all about promoting people who are doing something wonderful. And I thank you for coming today. We've had a good time. I want you to enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I guess I should come up with some other topics to talk about now that I have a whole YouTube channel
As in.
as well. So anyway, thank you all. Have an amazing Sunday afternoon, and definitely take advantage of the businesses that are on the line, just if nothing else, for a little advice. But it was fun kikiing with you this afternoon on our first endeavor. So thank you. Happy
It's fun.
Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Sunday, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Keep the windows. Thank y'all for coming. Hey, Felicia, Naima. Oh, the group was in here. Bye, Kimmy True. Thank you for coming. And Debbie and Nicole. And oh my goodness, so many people. Hi, Sandra, Shamet, and oh my goodness. Hey, Shalima.
Now, Shamet and I met in a Facebook workout group years ago through another friend, and then by happenstance, bumped into each other at the African Fair in Brooklyn.
Wow.
And that's just how the world works. And she's been rocking with me ever since. Pamela Minyard brought Sarah to me.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Kiwi to the sorors on the line. Hey, y'all.
I see my big sister, the Mrs. Roper, the godmother of the movement.
Yes, the godmother.
Wearing her caftan.
Right, 90 representing on the line. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, this was
Everybody,
great.
enjoy
Good
your week. I hope this
conversation.
set you right.
Yeah, this was fun.